The Galactic Empire laughed at stone tools until they learned humans forged nukes. Before Peace Commander Zexthol's mandibles clicked in amusement as he reviewed the intelligence report on his holographic display. The newest species to be discovered by the Galactic Empire's survey vessels was primitive beyond belief. According to the data, these humans had only recently achieved faster-than-light travel, and their homeworld showed clear signs of having been ravaged by warfare mere decades ago. Stone tools, he chittered to his subordinate, Lieutenant Vexana. According to our archaeological scans, they were still using stone tools just 12,000 rotations ago. How pathetically primitive. The Galactic Empire had been the dominant force in this sector for over 50,000 years. Their technology was refined, their society peaceful and orderly. The Korthani had evolved past the need for warfare millennia ago, settling disputes through careful negotiation and resource allocation algorithms. To them, violence was an antiquated concept, like using fire to cook food or chemical propulsion for space travel. Shall we classify them as a Level 2 civilization? Commander? Vexana asked, her optical organs focusing on the data streams. They appear to have basic atomic manipulation and primitive fusion reactors. Barely Level 2, Zexthol agreed dismissively. Schedule them for integration into the Empire within the next 100 rotations. Such a young species will benefit greatly from our guidance. 3 weeks later, the first diplomatic vessel arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system. The message they broadcast was the same one the Empire had used for countless civilizations. A formal invitation to join the galactic community under Imperial protection and guidance. The human response was unexpected. Thank you for your generous offer, came the reply from someone identifying himself as Secretary General Chen of the United Earth Government. However, we must respectfully decline. We prefer to maintain our independence while establishing peaceful relations. Commander Zexthol was stationed aboard the diplomatic vessel, and he found himself blinking all 4 eyes in confusion. No species had ever declined the Empire's invitation. It simply wasn't logical. The Empire offered protection, advanced technology, and membership in a civilization that spanned thousands of worlds. Perhaps they don't understand the benefits, he mused. Schedule a demonstration of our capabilities. Show them our terraforming technology, our medical advances, our transportation networks. The demonstration took place in Earth's outer system. Imperial ships the size of mountains moved asteroids like toys, converted barren rocks into garden worlds in hours, and displayed energy manipulation that bordered on the miraculous. Surely, Zexthol thought, these primitive humans would see reason. Instead, the human response chilled him to his chitinous core. Impressive, Secretary General Chen acknowledged. Your technology is indeed advanced. However, our answer remains unchanged. We appreciate the demonstration, but we will chart our own course among the stars. This is unprecedented, Vexana whispered. No species has ever refused the Empire twice. Zexthol's mood darkened. The Empire had protocols for this situation, though they hadn't been used in over 1,000 years. Begin Phase 2 integration procedures. If they won't join willingly, we'll have to demonstrate the consequences of refusing Imperial protection. The human homeworld was blockaded within days. Imperial vessels took position around Earth, cutting off all space traffic. It was a standard procedure. Apply economic and military pressure until the recalcitrant species saw reason. Most civilizations capitulated within weeks when faced with the Empire's overwhelming technological superiority. Humans, it seemed, were not like most civilizations. 3 months into the blockade, Ambassador Keiko Tanaka arrived aboard a small, primitive-looking vessel that somehow managed to slip through the Imperial cordon. She requested an audience with Commander Zexthol, who agreed out of curiosity more than anything else. Commander, she said, settling into the chamber they had prepared for oxygen-breathing species, my government has asked me to share some information about human history that might be relevant to our current situation. I have reviewed your history, Zexthol replied dismissively. Stone tools to spaceflight in 12,000 years. Impressive for such a young species, but hardly. You missed something important, Tanaka interrupted, producing a small device. May I? The holographic display that materialized above her device showed Earth as it had been 75 years ago. Zexthul gasped as he saw the surface scarred by massive explosions, radiation signatures that spoke of atomic warfare on a scale that seemed impossible for such a primitive species. In 1945, humans created their first atomic weapons, Tanaka explained calmly. By 1960, we had hydrogen bombs capable of destroying entire cities. By 1980, we possessed enough nuclear weapons to render our entire planet uninhabitable multiple times over. The display shifted, showing missile silos, submarine-launched ballistic missiles, and weapons that made the Empire's archaeological team's estimates seem laughably conservative. This is impossible, Zexthul stammered. Our projections indicated you were barely past stone tools. 12,000 years ago, yes, Tanaka agreed. But humans have a unique talent, Commander. We excel at making weapons. We went from flint-napped spears to city-killing bombs in just a few thousand years. The same species that was hunting mammoths with pointed sticks was splitting atoms before we had proper computers. The implications hit Zexthul like a meteor strike. But you achieved peace. Our scans show your homeworld is unified, prosperous. We nearly destroyed ourselves, yes, Tanaka nodded. We learned to be better. But Commander, the capacity remains. Every human civilian spacecraft has the potential to be converted into a kinetic impactor. Every orbital platform could be weaponized. Every peaceful colony ship carries enough antimatter
to sterilize a moon. She leaned forward, her primitive binocular eyes fixing on his with an intensity that made his carapace shiver. Your empire achieved peace by evolving past the need for violence.
Humans achieved peace by becoming so efficient at violence that we scared ourselves into cooperation. We are not the same. The display changed again, showing current Earth orbital defenses that the Empire's sensors had dismissed as primitive communication satellites and research stations. Your blockade is currently surrounded by approximately 40,000 objects that our databases classify as civilian infrastructure, Tanaka continued conversationally. Each one could be converted into a kinetic weapon within 6 hours. Your ships are impressive, Commander, but they're not designed for warfare. They're exploration and construction vessels. Zexthul's mind reeled as he processed the information. The Empire hadn't fought a real war in millennia. Their ships were marvels of engineering, but they were built for creation, not destruction. Meanwhile, these humans, you're threatening us, he whispered. No, Tanaka replied firmly. I'm explaining why our answer is still no. Humans don't threaten. We simply ensure that the cost of aggression exceeds any possible benefit. Your empire is vast and peaceful, and we respect that, but we will not be absorbed into it. She stood, preparing to leave. We offer friendship, trade, and mutual cooperation. But understand this, Commander. The species that built pyramids and then split atoms in the same geological blink of an eye is not one you want to corner. As her primitive vessel departed, Commander Zexthul stared at the tactical display showing the thousands of civilian objects surrounding his fleet. Each one now seemed less like infrastructure and more like a sword pointed at his ships. Within a week, the Imperial fleet withdrew from Earth's system. The official report classified humanity as a special diplomatic case requiring alternative integration approaches. Privately, Zexthul recommended that the Empire maintain respectful distance from the species that had somehow weaponized peace itself. In the depths of space, Ambassador Tanaka smiled as she reviewed the withdrawal orders. Humans had indeed learned to forge peace, but they had done so in the crucible of unimaginable destructive potential. The galaxy would learn, as Earth had, that sometimes the most peaceful species were the ones that had mastered war so completely that they chose never to use it. The stone tools had become starships, but the weapons had never been forgotten.